Welcome back to Living Dayton, everyone. Now, the single biggest trends in weddings lately is the destination wedding, the beautiful destination wedding. And the trend seems to be staying for the long haul. So this is Julie Albaugh. She's a local wedding expert with some tips and ideas if you want to plan your own perfect destination wedding. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you.
Welcome back, I should say. You've been on the show quite a number of times, and you always have such great ideas. So, a destination wedding, what does it take to plan something like this? It seems like it would be something tough, but maybe not.
Yeah, well, a lot of times people don't understand a destination wedding is really when a couple plans a wedding that's either 200 miles or 2 hours away. So technically, a lot of times they think of the Caribbean or someplace else. And it could actually be in their own state or in other parts of the U.S. or internationally.
It's just not home, essentially, right? As long as it's not in your hometown, then it would constitute a destination wedding. What are some of the top tips that you would offer brides if they want to start thinking about it?
Well, some of the important questions you really need to ask. Can the important guest attend if you plan a destination wedding?
The people that you really do want there.
Yes, the people that you really want there. And then also whether or not you will be able to make a planning trip to the destination beforehand. And then also whether you will hire a wedding planner to help with all those details. And then, what is your budget?
That's the biggie. That's the big question. I would say, could you set that one first? That's the first thing you need to set up, so that because that will guide the rest of your planning, right?
Right. A lot of times, brides don't really think of the budget. They think, oh, I want this, I want that, but you have to know what your budget is first.
You don't want to start off your life in debt, right? You don't want to start off your married life in debt.
Or divorce.
Or divorce. One could lead to the other. There we go. What about some of the locations that you've been hearing of?
Well, some of the top destination locations I should say outside of the U.S. are actually Hawaii and the Caribbean and Mexico.
So outside of continental U.S., we've got Hawaii, the Caribbean, and Mexico.
Yes, and if you're talking about domestic locations, basically Florida, California, and Nevada tends to be top. But I've been traveling quite a bit at some of these destinations. I actually went to Grenada about a month ago, and it's in the Caribbean.
Beautiful. Wow.
Yes, just lovely people and a lovely destination with so many neat waterfalls and different locations that you can get married at.
Yeah, and you know, I think the Caribbean is kind of an obvious location that like you were saying, everyone immediately thinks of the Caribbean. But what about you had Nashville up there and Mount Lennox as well?
Yes, what we're finding is a lot of brides, they graduate from college. All their friends are all over the country, and they try to find a centralized location to have a wedding. And Nashville tends to be within 5 hours of most of the states, which is amazing. And they have so many things there that you can do.
Yes.
And I actually went to Gaylord Opryland, and beautiful winter setting.
That's gorgeous. Look at that.
Yeah, and you can actually make it seem like you are having an outdoor wedding, but you're indoors because they have so much glass.
Yes. Beautiful. What about Mount Lennox? That's another one that surprised me when I saw this on the list.
Yes, I just actually was in Lennox, Massachusetts last week, and they have so many estates there. It's just absolutely amazing. In fact, the Mount was the top venue that I saw, and they have tremendous landscaping.
Yes, and I think that's the key there. You don't need that much decorating when you're in beautiful landscape, right?
Right.
And it saves a dime there, too. Now, what's the difference when you're planning? Like, these are all in the United States. These are all, even Hawaii is still part of the United States. When you go international, like Mexico or the Caribbean, is that a different planning? Do we have to look ahead a little, like a few months ahead, or how does that work?
Well, I mean, you can still have a short period of time of planning or a longer period of time, but I think the big thing is you want to know what the marriage requirements are in all the different destinations, because they're all different. You might have to come 3 days ahead of time to make the marriage legal. There's all kinds of different requirements.
Research. And then if you need more information, you can always contact you.
Yes.
You've got a book here that helps out people too.
Yes, I actually just met Lisa Light. She wrote a book called Destination Bride. If you are planning a destination wedding, I seriously think you should read this book.
And then what about you, if people want to follow you and all your tips?
I'm from weddingmarketnews.com, and I have many destinations on my website.
All right, so a few places we can go research our destination weddings. Thanks, Julie.
Yes.